All right, let's start off with talking about Jason Momoa as Lobo. This is an amazing casting. He has like the kind of crazy personality like Lobo, and he looks like Lobo just in general. I mean, I don't know if that's an insult because Lobo looks kind of crazy, but he has the hair, he's got like the, the muscles and everything. It's a perfect casting, I think. And we'll have to see when we actually see him play the role, but I just think that he's going to embody this character perfectly. This character is absolutely crazy. If you don't know about the history of Lobo, he's basically the last Zarnian, I think is how you say his race. And he basically unalives everybody else in his race by creating this like creature that takes out his whole race, and he does it like just for fun. And his race is basically immortal. I think there's also some kind of thing where like he's banned from heaven and hell. So there's like no way for him to die. And he's also been shown to be crazy powerful. It depends on the writer, but he goes toe to toe with Superman. So this is a crazy character to see in live action. I mean, even look at this image right here. He has a grenade on his necklace and he's always smoking a cigar. I mean, it's perfect, right? Lobo even has his own way of cussing in the comics where he'll say like fragging and biztatch and, other stuff that are just suggestive words that you're supposed to basically understand what he's saying. Because obviously they're not going to put curse words in comics, but even down to the way he speaks is kind of insane. This also comes at the same time as we just had the Lobo versus Wonder Woman 1v1 come out, which was an interesting issue. I'll give my thoughts on that really quick. It wasn't as good as the Superman versus Captain Atom issue, in my opinion. I think it was a little weak in some of the ways that they actually won their fights. It does have some it has some funny parts, because of the craziness of this like breaking the fourth wall and reality warping that the Heart of Apocalypse is doing. And the writer was really playing with that, but I don't want to spoil it. You should go read Lobo and Wonder Woman. I just, in my opinion, it wasn't as good as Captain Atom and Superman. Anyway, back to Jason Momoa as Lobo. The only problem with Lobo for Jason Momoa that I would say is that Lobo isn't around super often in DC Comics, so I don't know if they're going to try to work him into more stories or if he's just going to be a character that shows up every once in a while or part of maybe some, the big events, that they do if they do, events like Infinity War and Endgame at the end of a phase or something like that and Lobo shows up. But yeah, I don't see Lobo being like a mainstay in the new DC universe, which is a shame because I do think the character of Lobo is really cool and I love the casting of Jason Momoa. But yeah, I just don't see him as a character that's going to be around like a ton. This version of Lobo looks very comics accurate. Now, I know this is kind of a blurry image that we have here because it's just pulled from, one still from the trailer where we barely got to see him in the Supergirl trailer. I think the character of Lobo is kind of a fan favorite character that people are going to love to finally see accurately done in live action. So all I can say is that I'm super hyped to see Jason Momoa in this role, and I have, really high hopes for Supergirl.